Okay, everybody, welcome to Three at the Back. The World Cup is reaching the moments where every game feels bigger, every mistake matters, and every story becomes unforgettable. Tonight, we're looking beyond the score lines as usual. We'll take you inside the atmosphere of the tournament through David's videos from MetLife Stadium and hear what it's really like to experience the World Cup as a fan. We'll talk about the teams redefining modern football, and we'll ask the biggest question tonight, guys. Can football change the way the world sees a country? Because the World Cup is more than just a competition. It's about identity, culture, passion, and the stories that connect us. I wasn't feeling well. It's not 100% me, actually, but it's the World Cup. If players can play through cramps, I believe I can make it through an hour with a cup of tea. All right, this is Three at the Back. Let's get started. Big thanks to Spera for the custom gear. The custom t-shirts, such as the one I'm wearing today, are from Spera. You can create your own personalized t-shirt with your name, number, favorite phrase, or match day concept. Spera, your print, our design. He's also sharing the clips with us right now. David, tell us about what matches you've been to and what was really happening there.
Well, thankfully I've been to a lot of them, all of them that have happened up to now. But inside of the stadium working, about like 5. But the clips that I've shared or that I'm sharing, it's 3 goals that I was able to catch for the Ecuador and Germany game. And it's been just really amazing to see the different types of like fan bases and how different the stadiums are. Like the state is the same stadium, but the fans, is what makes the show, the game way better. For example, that game from Ecuador where you see the clip of Ecuador when they beat Germany in the corner kick. It was crazy because the whole, like, you can't hear it on TV, but like throughout the whole game, like the Ecuador fans, the stadium was yellow and they were like, oh, si se puede, like we can't do it. And like psychologically for the players, I know that must have felt like, like an extra plus, and that's why they actually, like turned the score back around. I feel like psychologically it plays a big role, and it was pretty cool to to be there and be a part of that crowd. Also during like the France and Sweden game, I felt like the French people were just like they would just watch the game like champagne football, like they just watch the game. And
you know what we call that? Chants, we call that watching a film in a theater or watching a
like
play.
Literally that's what I felt. Like I've been to 2 games and that's what I felt like. They're like chanting, but it's not like loud or anything.
Somebody over there is about to say something. I can see
Oh no! I mean,
with that Le Bleu jersey on.
I'm not surprised. It's I mean, the like I've said from the beginning, this is not a World Cup for the fans.
It's not.
I feel like the ones that are truly loud and obnoxious, like I don't think we've really seen. I mean, yes, here we've seen a couple of examples, but I think it could have been louder. It could have been grander. Right?
Yeah,
it was just so expensive for people to get here. That's the facts.
So only people who could afford to go to those plays could go to these games, huh?
Or
one of us is not really happy about. One of us is not really happy about how this World Cup is coming about. I guess Frantz, right?
No,
So-
I mean, we'll talk about it, but we're still in the game, so no complaints.
David, go ahead. So what else? Anything else you want to add?
from like Norway, like the fans, like the road, like that's I've seen it twice now, and it's like it's crazy, like it's really.
Which
Yes.
which game was that? Norway versus.
It was
The last one.
Norway.
The last game.
Yeah, the last game, but you know it was crazy. There was less Norway fans that game, and the group stage game there was more Norway fans, of course, but it was still loud. Like
Yeah.
they were, you know, like it was still loud, and you know Norway got the
And
win.
I think, I mean, just to tag on that, David, because for me, Norway was the biggest fan culture, because they're able to not only express themselves, and actually there are memes out there. There are like thousands of memes out there with their rowing thing, but also they connect with the players. The players, Holland came out and started beating the drum,
Yeah.
and he started, even the players are connecting with the fans at this point, right? So for me, Norway was yeah, incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
David, thanks for sharing those as usual. I don't know how many games left at MetLife. I know semifinal and final will be there, but
Just the
The final, just the final.
just the final.
just the final.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one more
And
left.
then, yeah, one more left. But out of all the other fans too, like the England fans were like the most passionate, because
Oh.
I remember they at the beginning of before the match, you could put your banners like behind the goal, and those like English fans were like as soon as they opened the gates, like they would just run to put their flag and take a picture with it. Like that's how much it means to them. And I was lucky enough to be on their side of like where they were sitting, and it was nice, like I'm a man of football, like, and it's just all of that, the culture, the different fan bases, and like it's amazing to see and just be a part of. It's pretty
Wow. That I'm hoping you have some clips of England game as well. If that's not the case, please send me some. as
No,
well.
I did. I sent you.
Out of the five
sent
ones
you
you
a-
sent.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you could still send me more, but thank you, David. Definitely adding those. We're definitely looking forward to that one more game in that regard. It's great for you to be there, and thanks for sharing those. Let's talk about fan culture. What's the best fan culture you've seen in this World Cup so far? This is related to what David was just saying, but what did you guys see? Who had the most passion inside and outside the
Just to
stadium?
go back to what we were talking about, Norway. I mean, again, I think teams that are, teams that we're not familiar with, especially in this hemisphere, like Norwegians. Who's gonna know anything about Norwegian here? Vikings, unless it's a show that we know of, nobody's gonna know. So I think these people were the loudest. I mean, they were the loudest, even though they were small. They were in Times Square. They were in Times Square doing the row, right? So Norway. I think also, just to give a shout out to Cabo Verde, I think their fans, honestly, man, unknown place, like the last country you think would ever qualify for World Cup. I mean, their fans showed up. And I think I gotta give a shout out to them, because they really came out of nowhere and supported the team, and they were loud too.
I mean, for my case, I don't know what it is after Turkey is being eliminated, I guess. I really like smaller nations when it comes to this fan culture. So, these nations are not the favorites. They're there. They celebrate every moment like it's history, The passion. The passion is the key part. They really feel the passion and reflect that to people around them in that regard. They're not expecting really the trophies. They're just proud to see their flag on the biggest stage. To me, that country is Cape Verde. Guys, let's be honest. Before Cape Verde being here, blame me for my ignorance. I didn't even know they had the Portuguese influence in this country that's coming from African continent to the World Cup, okay? This country that's composed of these islands that's close to Senegal, the West Africa, right? And you see all of these like people who are really into soccer, like Vozinha, my man, Vozinha, right?
Yeah.
They're really there showing that a lot of global fans. I just read that the country is like 500,000 population, but more than 500,000 people also live outside Cape Verde and supporting the country in that regard, like people in diaspora, you know, that idea. So they're there and they were definitely supporting their country because of the World Cup spirit, football spirit. Plus their performance was really great. So for me, the best fan culture in this World Cup so far is coming from Cape Verde. David, how about you?
I couldn't agree more in that sense of Cape Verde, but I was surprised with Norwegian fans. Like I wasn't expect. I know the Iceland, you know, when they had this,
Right.
but I hadn't seen anything like that again from another country. So it was pretty cool to experience. Also, like English fans, I remember just going back to what I was saying. Before the game, in outside of the like where the food is, you know, like they were just like they just started singing and like chanting, and like it was just, I remember I was on my break and I went out to get food, and all I see is like you couldn't even move, like they were just there singing, you know, like their chants and all that stuff. So it was pretty cool. And so far no one else has done that in at MetLife at the stadium. And as I was saying, like all the French fans, they were just not, I wouldn't say quiet. They would sing, but it was just like they would just watch the game, you know, like they would just, and like English, they were all standing up.
Let's go.
They were all standing up.
I mean,
that has the fan base that they were all standing up the whole game.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
David, you're a little tired, or is it because of what happened against Switzerland last night? How are you feeling?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Luis Diaz, man, I was expecting a lot from that guy. It was a little quiet, wasn't it?
Everybody was, you know, but how I saw it, what I got from it, you know, we didn't step up, you know. It was, we saw it in the game before Colombia, which was Argentina and Egypt. They were down 2-0 and then they came back 3-2, and that's exactly what we missed. And we've seen it before. We've played against Argentina before, Copa America. Okay, same thing, 0-0, then last minute, boom, you know, because I think that's what we're missing, that lack. We're lacking that grit towards the end of, you know, that fighting spirit. And that comes in stepping up in games like this, and you know, like the pressure now, like of course it's on the players because they're able to do something. You know, as fans, we can't do anything. Just give them our best positive energy, and you know, at the end of the game, PKs and penalty kicks, and you know, like at the end of the day, it's luck. But we could have killed it right before we went into the PKs. Campas had you know, he was 1-on-1 with the goalie. Yeah, and I was talking to my dad, and my dad was like, if that was Messi, he would have, you know, like taken his time, make the goalkeeper dive, you know, and then boom, goal. He's the hero. But again, like he wasn't calm, and it is what it is. You know.
I remember us talking about this 4 weeks ago. You were talking about Luis Diaz a lot. I also like Campos a lot, you know, for someone that's watching. This is my first time kind of watching these guys. I really think Luis Diaz is a good player, but being under pressure is definitely a different thing, which is also related to how Turkish players actually underperformed. I think they had a lot of that as well. So I was rooting for Colombia. I thought they were gonna, you know, go through, but that's what happened, you know. Thanks for sharing that. Anyway, so let's talk about the main thing today. This is a show that's more about, yes, we do talk about what happens on the pitch from the tactical perspective. We do that every now and then. Let's talk more about numbers. Guys, today I'd like to talk about numbers. So check this out. More than 4.64 million fans attended the group stage matches, making it highest attended group stage in the World Cup history. This has a lot to do with the World Cup having 48 teams first time, right? Over 5.5 million people visited official FIFA fan festivals across the host cities during the group stage. The opening weekend alone attracted more than 50 million television viewers across the three host nations, USA, Mexico, and Canada, while many countries around the world set new national viewing records. In the US, the round of 16 match between the US and Belgium drew 42 million viewers across English and Spanish language broadcasts, becoming the most watched football telecast in US history. So keep these numbers in mind related to what's going on, because the main part I'd like to talk about has a lot to do with these particular teams and the idea of football. Can football actually change the way the world sees a country? So I think I'll start with this, if that's okay with you guys. Can I start with this one?
Yeah, no, go for it.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Guys, today when I go to YouTube, I know, you know how YouTube gives you suggestions and all that? Do you know that how many travel videos, recent videos I've seen of people going to Cape Verde, sharing that with the whole world? People looking up where countries like Cape Verde is after their great performance in the World Cup, because they had no idea about that. I know a lot of people around me who did that too, by the way. Looked it up, saw the flag, you know, the Portuguese influence. Some people even said their women look good. You know, like they talk a lot about these different things. Okay.
I didn't even know they had Portuguese.
Right? Yeah. So you could.
Until
you
now.
know, the colony, there's the Portuguese influence, right? So this guy who's gone there for the travel show, I think who lives somewhere in the U.S., spoke Portuguese over there. So he may be a Portuguese American guy, for example. Millions of people who had never heard of Cape Verde suddenly knew the name. The goalkeeper became an international celebrity almost overnight. People started marching where the country is, searching where the country is, reading about its history, talking about visiting the place one day. The football can do that very few, only that's something football can do that very few events can. All right. So it made me think the World Cup is probably the biggest branding campaign a country could ever receive. All right. This is not about just representing a football team. It's beyond that. They're introducing their own country to billions of people. Let me talk about Cape Verde goalkeeper Vozinha. Did you know that Vozinha had only 50,000 followers, but within 3 weeks after his great performances, this number went up to 17 million followers.
After what, 3
million.
weeks?
In 3 weeks, Vozinha had 17 million followers.
And now I read that he signed like a Nike and Off-White campaign, or like a brand.
All right. So these are really interesting numbers, guys. I think being here, representing the country, that has a lot to do with, like promoting your own country, your own culture, maybe your own food. It could do a lot that a tourism consulate, a tourism ministry may not even do in like 50 years. And these guys could do it in just 4 weeks, 5 weeks. All right. So, I mean, we often say football is the world's game, but maybe this is not entirely true. The World Cup isn't just about finding the best team. I think billions of people are looking at these monitors or being there in the stadiums, looking at these countries. Maybe they know very little about. This is a great tournament that changes more than a team's reputation. It changes how the world sees an entire nation. That's why the World Cup is about much more than football. What do you guys think? I try to look at it from Cape Verde's perspective. because people know a lot about this country or got more curious about this country by also looking at statistics. Can football actually change the way the world sees a country? Tell me what you guys think. Feel free to share an example country for this.
No, I mean, let's start at home right away, right? I mean,
USA.
before all this, the U.S. was not looking. I mean, even to this day, probably we're not a favorite in the world, I would say. But I think this was an opportunity for people to see another U.S., to see another side of U.S. I mean, I don't know how many international folks I've come across that said they were surprised by the things they've experienced here, and all of this through the World Cup, all of this through the game. So I think starting here at home, I think we showed something. Now, the recent controversy with Trump, with the red card and Balogun, that kind of put a stain on everything, because I feel like all the way up to then, I think we were doing pretty well.
Oh, you don't know the new announcement about that?
No.
US Belgium game. The new score is USA 5, Belgium 4. You don't know about that? They changed the score now.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not, but
Sorry.
but it has an impact. It has an impact on the way people are perceiving a particular country. And I think for us, Americans, I think we were doing a good job. I think we still are. It's just, when politics gets in the way, it's like a smear campaign or something.
I mean, before we go to David, I just want to add something to that. A couple things. One is the numbers I gave you. USA Belgium game. Americans, the number of Americans watch that game is like a record. It's more than what, the country had before. Another thing is, from personal perspective, I drive in New Jersey a lot up until now, from the beginning of the World Cup, especially the days when USA was playing. I've seen a lot of people wearing the USA jersey proudly and walking around. That's something that's fairly new to me. All right. So, David, what do you think about this topic?
I think it's you put it, like really clear, and I honestly didn't think about it that way until it made sense. The way people perceive a country or a different culture too, through representing themselves and the country at the world stage, it means a lot. And it's crazy to see how, as you were saying, that now people want to actually go to Cape Verde, or like a lot of also people, like yesterday after the game, Colombia game, I was like closing the door, and a guy had the jersey on. He was like, "Oh man, like I was rooting for you guys," but he was Mexican. He was like, "Oh, I haven't had my shirt on and everything," and it was just also nice to see how people from other countries root for other people's countries. Like South Americans root for South Americans, and it makes yes, you're representing your country, but it's nice also to see how it brings people together, other countries and cultures together.
Yeah, I'll just add, nobody's trying to root for Argentina.
Yeah.
What happened now, Frantz?
Only
What happened now,
Sorry.
Frantz? Do you believe they're pushing Argentina, Frantz?
I mean, look, I don't want any
my
Argentinian
God.
beef. I don't want anything Argentina. I don't want no Argentinian salsa. I don't want none of it. I mean, they impacted everything. I mean, I already knew, but I think they are the new Soviet Union of 1955 of the World Cups. I don't know. They're just, it's like, we'll get there. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge, but I know.
All I could say is, staying on the pitch with Messi, they could do a lot. Without Messi, they are almost nothing.
With Messi and their 12th player.
But it's a perception of the country also, right? Like, if you think of the geopolitics, like everybody's gonna have a perception, like just because of the World Cup, right? Like people are gonna be like let's say nobody knew anything about Argentina, or they start looking into it, and then they're gonna start identifying certain things that are most likely geopolitically motivated, right? Like how their government and our government are super friends, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's bringing awareness to that. Like I didn't, people probably never know that, and then they start digging deep into the history and they start finding that Argentina's always been cheating. I'm sorry, they've always been challenging the game. So yeah.
Listen, I love Egyptians, but what the coach said after the game about Argentina, the controversial statement.
What did he say?
The idea of Argentina kind of being pushed by the FIFA to be in the finals. He kind of implied
he's like,
that.
Yeah, he said something like, if why invite us to this World Cup if you already have like a preordained finale?
But if you look at the pitch, they made the mistake by taking the main guy on the left side, taking him out, and then Argentina started coming from the right side after that guy was subbed. I mean, if you look at the pitch tactically, you could have a really good explanation of why Argentina scored 3 goals in the last 15.
Oh, I got
last 12 minutes.
I got some great explanations for that. I got about 5 or 6
12 minutes. Oh, disallowed goal? Yeah, that's a different thing. I don't know.
Let's not get started with Argentina. Lord.
I don't really want that, but I'm not going to say this. I kind of see who's really ahead of anybody else in this World Cup now in terms of their performance or their potential, their deep squad.
Who's that?
Of course, it is Switzerland. No, I'm just kidding.
They're going to be out, sadly, but
they're going to be out just like
Argentina's going to come walk through them.
I still see a France and Argentina final, by the way.
Oh, I dream of that final, but I think it's going to be France, England. Anyways, I don't know.
But Norway is also, don't underestimate Norway, especially
Norway,
for at least a semi-final. Or maybe third place.
Didn't I tell you guys Norway was the dark horse?
Yeah, but you also mentioned a lot about Morocco and other teams as well as a dark horse.
Morocco,
Senegal.
still, yeah.
You said Senegal in the beginning.
Senegal. Yes, I did.
So, I think Colombia did well in this World Cup.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's a new tournament. Once you reach, so we've never had a round of 32, right? So,
yeah.
This is new. We've never had this. Also, this is another phase of the tournament. It's not a regular, this is not the group stage. I mean, it's a whole different mindset, a whole different preparation. Players are tired. It's a whole different ball game. That's what people don't realize.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to add is how, Switzerland played in one country, right? Argentina is also playing in this little section.
Kansas City area, Atlanta, Kansas City.
France is also playing
in the
around
Northeast.
here.
Yeah.
Colombia played in 3 countries.
Wow.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
They played in the 3 countries.
Wasn't the last game in Mexico City? No, Vancouver, right? Vancouver.
Yeah,
that was
Vancouver.
Last one is in Vancouver.
They were the only national team who played in all 3 countries.
That's crazy.
Up to now.
That's a big land, big
Because
continent.
you also got to think for the players on their rest.
Yeah.
Travel, training times, all that stuff. It's so much easier when you have that all laid off. Argentina is using Inter Miami's freaking facilities.
Oh, okay.
Argentina's playing the African Cup of Nations. They played Cape Verde. They played basically Egypt. They played all the African teams, man.
Stop this hate on Argentina, man.
Sorry.
All right.
I can't help myself.
I have to move on. Spera, this is not just a regular t-shirt. It's custom made for you. Whether it's for your friends, your football team, or your match day outfit, or your own personal style, you can carry your own story on your t-shirt. Spera, your print, our design. By the way, guys, please feel free to write your comments, hit like, hit subscribe. We need your support. We'd like to do more of these episodes coming to you even after the World Cup ends. Thanks for your support. let's take a look at some of these short, I don't want to say short answer parts, but the question is, which national team represents modern football best? I don't know what you guys understand from modern football with this based on your own interpretations. To me, it has a lot to do with a team that's trying to play more possession, keep the ball, try to start new style with that. I mean, I could come back to it, but what do you guys think of when I say representing modern football best, and why?
I'll jump in. I mean, I'm kind of bored of modern football, to be honest with you. I feel like everybody's almost a replica of each other in terms of the possession play. I think there's more and more teams playing a possession style of football. I'll say if we're thinking about the modern game, modern style, the consistency, Spain. Spain has been very consistent in their style. They've been setting the trends with it, and they are the ones to be exemplary with their style of football. Now, don't get me wrong. I think also France is bringing a kind of technical, physical aspect of it. But again, it kind of shifts, because if you look at French players on a whole, it's a very offensive, like attack-minded football, right? Like it should be, but it's not because of this particular coach, which chooses to play a certain style. So I feel like the coaches are dictating a certain style, but I don't think it's representative of the country as a whole. I don't.
Yeah, but
so.
Deschamps has been there for what, more than 10 years, so he has a particular style that's associated with the French team now. No?
I mean, it's his style. It's his style. But if you look at all the players that are world-class players, they're not anywhere near his style of football. If I give you France to manage, you or David, I'm almost pretty sure you'll have a very attacking football.
Of course. They have Cherki, Doué, Dembele, all like, your top attacking players.
Yeah, you'll probably play like you probably put two in the back and just like fill it up with all like attacking midfielders and forwards. So, yeah, I think playing style. I guess to answer the question, I think Spain has that consistency and modern style of football.
I mean, I also had Spain in my answer related to this, but not because of like, oh, they're great, they're the best, they're getting there, but they really insist on keeping the ball possession. This is our style, this is what we do, right? They press together, they act together, they defend together,
but they
rotate positions.
It's cultural,
and they've been like that since I don't know when. Like
it's been like that. David
Iniesta times and all those guys, right? Every player looks comfortable on the pitch.
I feel like since 2008 more so, that's
right
when
they won the World Cup in 2010, a little bit earlier than that. They won the Euros
and then the World Cup, and then that's with that was like the best Barca Madrid era and all that stuff. So I feel like since then.
So modern football is not about having the biggest star or anything like that. I think it's all about having the best system, which maybe some argue it may be related to what that particular coach really wants.
Yes, but to add to that, to have the best system, you need to have the best players that can play that system. Because you could be really good, but you don't fit into the system. Which that's what happened with James or any other number 10, Mesut Özil, or because now modern football doesn't have those type of players, or they don't play with those systems.
So number 10s, there are not number 10s are also dying out in that regard. The amount of number 10s.
Yeah, but more so because to expand to that, because the team plays for the number 10. Now modern football is you're the whole team and we all play like this. Colombia, for example, plays a lot for either James or Quintero, because they would just give them the ball and they start playmaking and combining, and and it was great. It would work at times, but
I mean,
also look at where that led us to.
You may know, you may not know. Turkey was playing with nobody as number 9. False 9 was what Turkey had, and everyone in Turkey was criticizing Montella about that. But there was no exact number 9 that the country really raised. That was a big problem. Some people put it from that perspective of we should have a really good number 9. But these things you can't really tell in terms of raising a striker number 9. Do you think that's also a new thing, that there are not many number 9s left in the world? Good quality, talented?
I mean,
or without having any number 9, would that really affect a team?
no, I mean,
Would you say Haaland is a 9?
I mean, because of his size and he's not a typical number 9, but he could play like a number 9, and around him, he's like a magnet, right? All of the defenders are trying to go around him, which creates more space behind other players. But when he gets the ball, he acts like a regular forward who could just score, right? So he's doing a lot. So he could wear many hats, I think. So Haaland, in terms of wearing many hats, he could be a number 9 as well. Frantz, you don't agree?
No, I mean, I think, look at Harry Kane, best striker in the world, hands down. They don't make him like that anymore. Yet he's been magical. He's been, he's been the change that England needed. Nobody else in England's coming. Bukayo Saka, none of these guys are. Bellingham, okay, fine, but other than that, nobody else. Harry Kane has single-handedly kept England in this World Cup, and I think it's a message that these number 9s are dying out. So yeah, I don't see anybody. I mean, Haaland's the next version of that, but how many Haalands do we know? He's unusual. Yeah. He's different. There's no other player like him either. I feel like he's a cyborg of Harry Kane and Ronaldo, and all the.
How calm was Haaland when he scored the second goal? Was it the 90th minute second goal against Brazil?
Yeah, that was crazy.
He was so calm with it. Kane, I think in terms of size,
they gave him a lot of space.
They gave him a lot of space.
Yeah. He took 3 touches. To have 3 touches on the top of the box is too much time.
Kane, I think, has the style and size of a number 9, but this guy travels outside the box a lot. He runs. I've never seen a guy with that much physique, right? The physical aspect, like real tall,
just roaming in the surface,
who speeds and stops all of a sudden and takes a shot, right? Shoots, right? And it's always accurate. Like, how can you do that, right? This is something that a right winger who's like 5'3", 5'4", 5'5" could do, right? So he's amazing in that regard, how he shoots those, interesting ones.
Yeah.
A younger kid today saw me talking about Argentina could have played against Colombia, not Switzerland.
Yes.
And he said, do you know that they're good buddies, Argentina and Colombia?
No.
And then this guy stopped, and then he said, what's the phrase he used? I think
frenemies.
Frenemies. They are frenemies, he said. So what do you think about that, Argentina versus Colombia, David? Enlighten us about that.
What do you mean? That what could have been, or
is there a big rivalry or hatred? Or
well, now it is after that. Like after that Copa America, I think it was. But I think it also starts from like the way back when Colombia won like 5-0 and and Argentina. I can't remember which stadium, but it was like a big stadium. I don't know if it was Bombonera. No, it wasn't Bombonera.
How far back are we talking about?
Oof, like Pia Valderrama era, like
90s.
Okay.
90s, yeah. But it has gone on through, and up to now. After that Copa America, I believe they played. Colombia won one. They tied, and Argentina won the other game too. So this fourth game would have been special, but there's no
Okay.
fourth game.
So football gives us goals and trophies, but the World Cup gives us something even bigger. It introduces us to new countries, new cultures, new stories that we might never have discovered otherwise. That's why this tournament is about more than football. It's about people as well. Thanks for watching Three at the Back. If you enjoyed the conversation, like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm Ali, here with Frantz and David.
And
We'll see you
Gizmo.
guys next time.
Gizmo. Where's Gizmo?
No Gizmo. Gizmo is on vacation this week.